Number 2, Anna Sarwar.
Presiding Officer, the waste of public money, £250 million so far by the government at Ferguson's, does not end with the award of the ferry contract. In August 2019, Tim Hare was appointed as turnaround director at the yard. These emails, obtained through Freedom of Information, show the appointment was rushed through without the usual competition in just a few days. Mr Hare was selected from a shortlist of only 3 people, all recommended by corporate advisers PricewaterhouseCoopers. In the process of negotiating his salary, he started by offering a rate of £2,000 a day, but ended up being paid just under £3,000 per expenses per day. And these emails also show the First Minister was informed about all of this and didn't raise a single objection. As people across Scotland tighten their belts, can the First Minister explain why she thought it was right to pay Tim Hare over £2 million, meaning he earned in just 11 days what the average Scot earns in a year?
First Minister.
These decisions were taken at the time in line with proper processes and procedures, and people paying the market rates. I don't set the market rates for what people are paid, but we will continue to focus. There is a new Chief Executive now in place at Ferguson's, has updated this Parliament on the revised timescales and the revised costs for the ferries, and we will continue to update Parliament, and Parliament will continue to hold the Government and the company, which of course is now in government ownership, to account. We will concentrate on learning the lessons, but more than anything, we will concentrate on completing the ferries, and we will concentrate on securing a good future for that shipyard, which of course is something that the STUC has already said is of huge significance, and that the Government was right to intervene to secure the future of the shipyard.
Anna Sarwar.
Market rate, £3,000 a day. Were you signing Lionel Messi? I mean, let's... Who is the First Minister kidding? I don't hear any apology or any regret for paying this man £2 million. Let's not forget that £2 million was to turn around the yard, but the ferries still aren't delivered, are costing more and are delayed again. And this email, also found from Freedom of Information requests, shows that government advisers actually suggested Tim Hare needed a decent pay package so that life wasn't, and I quote, unnecessarily painful for him while he swapped Hampshire for Port Glasgow. Shocking and out of touch. Families right now are having to count every penny. At the same time, Tim Hare says, and it seems the First Minister is suggesting, that he was value for money. Does the First Minister honestly think he's been value for money? And if not, what is she going to do to recover £2 million of taxpayers' money?
First Minister.
Make clear, I don't think the experience of this contract has been acceptable in any way, shape or form. But the focus now, under the new Chief Executive of the shipyard, is to get the ferries completed in the interests of island communities and to secure the future of the shipyard. That's what the Government is going to focus on. We continue to focus on, and that is in the interest not just of island communities, but that is in the interest of those who work in that shipyard. Because we should not lose sight of the fact that, but for government intervention, this shipyard would no longer be operational, it would no longer be open, and there would be nobody employed. Right now, we have more than 400 people employed in that shipyard, and we intend to do everything we can to ensure that it has a bright future, which I think is what people in Port Glasgow and across Scotland will want to see.
Anna Sarwar.
Officer, we are all for protecting the jobs, but let's be clear, this was a PR stunt to protect Nicola Sturgeon's job, Derek Mackay's job and SNP MP's jobs. Because while people see their bills going up, they see a government paying £250 million and still no ferries. Contracts and jobs going abroad and £2 million paid to one person. This government and this First Minister is all about spin and PR while the public pay the bill. Nicola Sturgeon normal and done by the book, but Audit Scotland say the opposite. She says she's open and transparent, but Audit Scotland don't agree. Nicola Sturgeon says the delays are unacceptable, but then accepts the delays. She says she wants to learn lessons, but doesn't want a public inquiry. She says the government takes responsibility, but not a single person has. Why does she think it's acceptable that while people need help with the cost of living, they're instead paying the cost of her government's failure?
First Minister.
I don't think Anna Sarwar really does support the protection and the retention of employment, because if we had followed what he has just set out, there would be no Ferguson shipyard and there would be nobody employed in that shipyard. You know, from the point of public ownership to November 2020, the number of permanent jobs at Ferguson Marine more than doubled. It has been sustained at a level over 350 permanent staff since then. There are currently around 400 permanent employees and additional agency workers. There have been 42 apprentices learning a trade in that yard since August 2021, and the yard has plans to take on more apprentices later this year. More than 70% of all the people employed live in Inverclyde. So these are people employed right now that would be finding the cost of living crisis much harder had the government not saved the shipyard. That's the reality. The contract and the experience of that is deeply regrettable. What is not regrettable is saving the shipyard and those who work in it, the jobs of those who work in it.